Alright guys, hello and welcome to a fresh new league with Amulet. Now that the meta has changed with the sort of disinclusion, I guess you might even say, of companions with the companion rule update, we have a bit of a different build, so I'm going to talk about that in a little bit more detail in just a second. But first, I want to make a comment on the current meta. So, as of right now, the only companion that I've seen in the last couple days that's still seeing play is Yorion, and even that one is seeing very fringe play. So a lot of those old prowessy type of like very aggressive Lurrus or like Lurrus Shadow or Lurrus prowess type decks, they've kind of reverted to their original status. And in fact, in the last couple preliminaries that I looked at, there wasn't really anything particularly aggressive other than like Storm, and Storm isn't really the kind of aggressive deck that I'm talking about. It's more of like a very fast combo deck. So as of right now, the meta that I'm expecting is going to be very mid-rangey. There's going to be some like blue control-y type strategies, and there's still a little bit of red-green, obviously without Obosh now, but that's red-green is always problematic, but there's not a whole lot we can do for that matchup. So anyways, like I said, I'm expecting kind of a mid-rangey, blue control-y, like maybe a little bit of Urza, maybe a little bit of black-green, just something along those lines, nothing super aggressive. And so with that said, let's get into the changes that I've made for this particular list. The first and biggest change that you'll notice is the inclusion of 4 Sakura Tribe Scouts. Before we played 4 Arboreal Grazers, and I think even at one point I had a Singleton Tribe Scout. And that's just because Arboreal Grazer is much better against those very fast, aggressive red decks, right? You get your land drop immediately, you can chump block with it immediately, even if it dies, you just don't care. It can block several times over the course of the game, if, say, they don't kill it, like with a lightning bolt, or if they don't get enough prowess triggers, say on a Monastery Swiftspear to attack through the Grazer, it, was able to absorb a lot of life points. However, arbitrarily, the card that is more powerful for this type of strategy is Sakura Tribe Scout. So you're not going to get your land drop immediately, but you will be able to put several lands into play off of it. Just a Tribe Scout and a Garenbrig is oftentimes enough to get a turn 3 Titan. So it's also works incredibly well with Amulet. Being able to play a turn 2 Dryad or Azusa off of playing Tribe Scout turn 1, playing the Amulet, and then putting in a bounce land twice, once for the turn and once for the Tribe Scout. So it's not quite as raw powerful as the Grazer in that a lot of the times you're not going to be able to cast your 3-drop on turn 2 without an Amulet, but it does some other things that are very useful, such as flashing in a Bajuka Bog at instant speed, or allowing you to have the mana you need for a Sun Home during your attack step. Like if you just need that extra land drop, but you need it at instant speed, that can come up as well. It's a very solid, very round card. I could even see potentially going to 3 Tribe Scouts and 2 Grazers just to have a little bit of oomph for those turn 2 3-drop type draws. Or in fact, maybe even cutting an Explorer for a Grazer would be a good idea. I'm not really sure. But as of right now, we're sticking with 4 Tribe Scouts. And then that's really the only big change from the main board. The other change being I cut a Gruul Turf for a Selesnya Sanctuary. I'm not really sure why I was playing 1 Sanctuary and 2 Gruul Turfs before. I guess I just didn't realize that I had 2 Gruul Turfs, but personally, I never find myself looking for specifically Gruul Turf. So I think the 1 Gruul Turf is enough, just because the Valakut kind of fills the same role that the Gruul Turf often does. And then I did put back the 2nd Sanctuary, because I do like the 2nd Sanctuary, but I had initially cut it for this Crumbling Vestige, which I'm still testing. I still think the Crumbling Vestige has potential, so anyways. Moving on to the sideboard, I've opted to include 3 copies of Mystical Dispute. Again, I saw a rise in blue control strategies, a little bit of Urza, a little bit of Storm, and Mystical Dispute is much better against those particular strategies than Negate. Notably, I didn't see any ad nauseum in the recent reports, and while it's possible people are still playing it, I think perhaps that might have been a meta choice, and Negate would have been better against ad nauseum, obviously, but I'm not really anticipating to be facing ad nauseum as often as before. But the one place where we really lose the effect of negate is Kron. And so I've decided to include a third Beast Within as well in order to kind of combat that matchup. So I also cut the one Pact of Negation. Those are the four slots that were used for these changes, with 3 negates and 1 Pact of Negation. And I cut the Pact of Negation just because even out of the sideboard, I haven't found it to be particularly good. In fact, any of the cases where it was useful, I either just happened to naturally draw it and didn't have a Titan to play, and it fit on my curve just because I didn't care if I had to tap out for the 5 mana. It's possible that being able to pay the 5 mana and still play Titan is going to come up more often because of Soccer Tribe Scout. But regardless, I just never found the pack to be particularly good against decks like Storm and like other combo decks, against decks like Tron. If you've already gotten a Titan into play the first time, which is often what happens when you get a Titan into play, get T West and a bounce land, and you search up Pact of Negation as part of your line. If you've already got a Titan in play in those matchups, then you're doing pretty well. So I'm not really a huge fan of Pact of Negation, and so I decided to cut it. So that's where we get the third Beast Within, and then the 3 negates just laterally translate into the 3 Mystical Disputes. Everything else I think is fine. We still want the Dismembers for those fast matchups. 2 Balos is something I like personally against Burn. We have some interaction with other permanents and Force, and Engineered Explosives as well. Explosives doubling as kind of a pseudo Wrath. Everything else is the same. So yeah, without further ado, let me get us started on that league. Alright, I'm ready to play some Magic. I'm curious to see how Tribe Scout performs. I've actually played more often with Arboreal Grazer than Tribe Scout now, I would say. I've obviously, since the pandemic, played a lot more online, and since I started playing online, the normal was to play a bunch of Arboreal Grazers. So I'm a little concerned about the fact that it'll be more difficult to cast a turn 3 Dryad with a Tribe Scout than it was with an Arboreal Grazer, so I'm not sure what happened. I'm not sure if we were able to start our match. Oh, we were. Okay. It went down to 0 and then kind of disappeared, and I was like, are we going to have to go through another matchmaking process? Right, this hand seems good. Didn't play a turn late because everything enters tapped here, but that's fine. The Azusa also kind of undoes that turn late. We'll lead on the Bog, I guess. Snow-Covered Island is interesting. Could be a Uro deck. Like, not an Uro, an Urza deck. It could be, like, bring out Stoneblade. Huh, this definitely looks like an Urza deck to me. Thoughts to use. That one might be rough. I think they'll probably take Titan or Amulet. Interesting. Okay, I think I can work without an Amulet here. Did get punished for not leading on the Garen Brig. I guess now we're just playing Growth Chamber. And then next turn we can play Dryad and Garen Brig untapped if we want a Stirrings, or we can play Azusa and get the rest of our lands into play. I think probably Dryad is going to be the better play. Ooh, well, now that we have a green source to activate Garen Brig, Azusa might be better here, although it depends on how much we want to play into counter magic. I think that the Dryad is still going to be a better play. So that's what I'm going to go for. They could have a counterspell here. Alright, so we'll play our Forest. And we'll Ancient Stirrings. We don't want to... I think they know about the Garen Brig, but... Well, now they definitely know about a Garen Brig. I was going to say, if they don't recall that we have a Garen Brig, they won't know necessarily that we have Titan Mana this upcoming turn, but... I mean, well, now they know. If they didn't before already. I haven't seen any Astrolabes or Mishra's Baubles or anything along that line. So I'm a little interested in what's going on over here. It still probably is just an Urza deck. They could play Urza here and have the Conspire. Is it Conspire? I don't know what that mechanic is called, but it's basically Convoke with artifacts. But anyways, that counterspell that costs 3. I'm not loving that they could have that, but I mean, they didn't use it on the Dryad, and we have a backup Titan, so let's see. What do we want to do here? I think we still want to get the Titan into play. We can use our Valakut triggers to kill this Urza if it resolves, and if it doesn't, we still have a backup Titan. So I think I'm into it. I would not be at all surprised to see a counterspell here, though. Just being honest. Oh, it resolved. Alright. Well, I guess it's a good thing we jammed. So we're getting Valakut for sure. And we can get something that's differently named. Like, we can get a field and play Paducah Bog, and then we'll have 7 names. We'll get 2 triggers off of the Valakut and another one off the Bog, so we can kill their Construct and their Urza. That seems pretty good. We could also get Cavernous Souls to line up this upcoming Titan. I don't hate that. I kind of think the Cavernous Souls will be more necessary. And the Bog's going to exile their Thoughtseize, so they can't do anything like fetch for a Mystic Sanctuary, put the Thoughtseize back on top, and then cantrip into it with a Bauble and play it. So I'm not really worried about that. But I'm not sure. Because Field is going to generate some bodies, but I think Cavern is going to be the highest upside. So I'm going to go with Cavern. We will name Giant. Okay. We can yield to these Paducah Bog triggers. Yeah, we're looking pretty good here. There's a Bauble. I was wondering where those were at. I guess this could get problematic if they have a Whir for Ensnaring Bridge or something like that. And then we just need to naturally draw a bounce land, I suppose. For that reason, I'm most definitely searching for a Valakut, another Valakut, so like a Vesuva, on this attack. I'm not really sure why they Archmage Charmed themselves right now. Maybe they just drew it off the bauble? Okay. We won. I'll take it. Explosives could be good if they're playing Stop Your Foundry. I think that we probably want to play around that, so I'll bring in the explosives. Force of Vigor, I'm not sure. Because a lot of their artifacts don't do much, to be honest. Like, Force of Vigor hitting an Astrolabe isn't really doing anything. We obviously want all of the Mystical Disputes. Probably a couple Dismembers as well. I don't know if we want all 3. I like Tireless Tracker. We could be playing against, like, a Damping Sphere or a Ashiok, so I'm going to bring in a couple Beast Withins as well. We can trim on Stirrings, we can trim a pack, maybe even 2 packs. Yeah, I think 2 packs is fine. We can trim a Grazer and a Tribe Scout, I think. They might have removal like Fatal Push. Azusa seems alright. I don't know. I think the Azusa is probably fine to cut. We don't really want to have a bunch of lands in hand to play for the Azusa, and once we already have, like, Feel the Dead going, or Valakut or something, then we're probably going to be winning by that point, so I'm not sure that Azusa is worth it. Huh. We could cut a Garen Break, but I don't like doing that if they happen to have a Damping Sphere. I'm going to cut 1 Sanctuary. They are weak to Damping Sphere and to Cryptic Command bouncing them, so I think it's fine to cut 1 bounce land here. Maybe we only want one explosive. Yeah, I think that's fine. Two more cards. Two more cards. We can make it one explorer. I don't know. I think explorer's good in this matchup. I don't really see much else to cut. We'll cut another stirrings, and I guess it has to be an explorer. I don't really want to cut anything else. Okay. I could see maybe cutting one more Tribe Scout. I don't know. I just like Tribe Scout. We just put him in the list. We gotta play him, obviously. See, this hand would be nice with a Tribe Scout. It is a keep anyways. Turn 1 Tribe Scout. Get it going. Turn 1 Tribe Scout, turn 2 Explore. Juicy. We don't have it, though. Hey, we might draw it. You never know. There's Mystic Sanctuary. Not at all surprised. Tribe Scout. Tribe Scout. Can we do it? I wonder if our opponent even knows that they are stopped in our upkeep. Hello? Alright. A Stirrings isn't the worst. It gives us something to do on turn 1. Maybe we can find an Amulet, and then this hand would become quite excellent. There's an Amulet. We could also take the Garen Brig, because we need to have land drops here, but I think being able to cast this Explorer on time is going to be better than having... Well, we can actually take Garen Brig and cast the Explorer this upcoming turn. And they could always steal our Amulet with Archmage's Charm. Feels weird, but I'm going to take Garen Brig. Hopefully I don't get punished. I think this is going to be better. Now if we draw any single land, then we'll have Titan mana. We can play our Explorer on time, and then we can play our Dryad or Reclamation Sage the turn after. And there's our land. So yeah, I'm definitely going to cast this Explorer. There's our Tribe Scout. Where were you? We'll pick up the Garen Brig, I guess. Yeah. This hand's got a lot of stuff going on. Maybe I should have held up Mystical Dispute this turn. There's no way I could have. I didn't have any blue sources. Well, looks like they may not have the Urza, so... Yeah, I might actually just play a Tribe Scout this upcoming turn to be able to hold up Mystical Dispute. Because I think we can afford to be a little slower here. Eventually this Reclamation Sage can come and hit this Talisman and put them down a mana. Even if they miss their land drop here, I just still don't think I'm interested in killing the Talisman just yet, because if they just top deck a land and slam Urza, then it's pretty bad for us. Tribe Scout doing some work here, being able to just be cheap enough to fit under this curve since we want to hold up this Mystical Dispute. Are they countering this? Is this a whir? Whir for 2. Huh. So if they get a Thopter Foundry, then we can play our land and Rec Sage it, but then we won't have Dispute up. I think this whir is probably fine. I just really don't want to get Urza'd. I'm gonna let it go. Okay. Oh, Damping Sphere. Yeah, that's fine also. I don't really care about that. So we'll play... Oh, wait, we don't have blue mana up now. That's really annoying. Well, we'll play Telarios, I suppose. And we'll pass it back. Yeah, the fact that this cuts off our blue mana is quite annoying. At least it wasn't a Copter Foundry. I wasn't thinking about Damping Sphere. I still don't think this is terrible for us if they don't have the Urza. It looks like they might not. Yeah. Well, in this case, we can kind of just blow up the Damping Sphere and go to town. So we can play this, activate Tribe Scout, put in the castle, play Dryad. And I mean, we definitely have to play the Rec Stage. They might be holding up something to interact with it. That's fine, though. I think we can get to casting this Titan naturally, so... Yeah, I'll play the castle since they know about it. And we'll play Rec Stage. Oh, it just snap resolved. Okay. Yes. We want to kill that one. Well, I think now we're getting this Dryad into play. We could, again, hold up Dispute, which only plays around them happening to top deck an Urza at this point. If they top deck and play an Urza, then we can pack 4 and play Titan with Dispute backup. So I think we can just go ahead and play this Dryad now. And here we'll pick up, I guess, a Forest. If this Dryad stays in play, then we'll have the backup Dispute anyways. We can just float the blue here, so I'll pick up the TUF. So now, even if they have an Urza, we're going to be able to Titan with counter backup and just pick up a copy of Valcott and kill the Urza straight off, so... I mean, we're on top, huh? Okay. I mean, if they're planning on casting Word during my turn, that is probably not going to work out for them. No thank you. I guess we'll use a Forest here. This is another one of those cases of I never expect a matchup like this to be this simple, but... Okay, Bog was a pretty good draw there. Yeah, I'll take it. So we're definitely casting our guy. We can float. We can get Crumbling Vestige. Now we don't have a bounce land, so we could float a red and Crumbling Vestige here, but we can't actually haste our Titan, so I'll float a blue instead. Maybe we end up being able to use Tolaria West, I don't know. We'll get our Titan. We'll play the Titan. We're definitely playing Bog this turn to get permanently rid of that Whir. We don't want to get blown out by anything here. We're going to get Valcott for sure. And guess just Feel the Dead is fine. We already have a TUS ready to go. We might want to get another blue source. If they happen to have another... I mean, I don't... If they draw a Damping Sphere, I just don't care. Because I already have Titan in play. So I'm going to go with Feel to the Dead. I think... we could do Vesuva as well, actually. I don't mind Vesuva. Alright, we'll copy a Growth Chamber. This way we get some extra Valakut triggers. So we'll pick up the Vesuva and play it, and then we'll Tribe Scout in a Bajuka Bog if we need to. We could Bog them now, but I just don't think there's a point. Actually, we might just have Lethal here. Now I'm thinking about it, because this is going to put them... This is going to put them down to 5, and then we have 2 more triggers with the Bog, so they are just dead. We could have just attacked with everything, but yeah. Okay. Well, like I said, I am never used to matchups that are supposed to be complicated being that straightforward. Yeah, I guess they just didn't have what they needed. There are several turns where they could have punished us with an Urza and didn't have it. So, anyways, yeah. The Tribe Scout's showing its power there, being able to put in several lands and be able to finish them off with the last land for a couple points of damage, or even just attack for the one for the last couple points of damage. So that's working out pretty good. But yeah, so we'll see how we do in match 2. Thank you for watching. This is Red Face Menace, signing off.